What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Tilt City here on FSI. I'm Alex Hooper, joined by my buddy Tom Stoss, here to wrap up game week 11 in the Premier League and its DFS implications. That's what we do here, and we're going to get right into it. But first, the question is always, Tom, what are you tilting about this week?
I'm telling about the old classic clean sheet keeper, the guy when it's the guy that you didn't have, and you're like waiting around, like the lineup looks good. You're sitting there, and all of a sudden you're knocked completely out of a couple spots, if not more than a couple spots. Real pain in the ass, and it really hit us. Well, you did well from it, but we were kind of in contention in a quarter. Not today, no, but the other day, yesterday. We're in contention, and I just totally got blanked out. Especially, no, I did well, but like it didn't help that there was a guy with 20 clone lineups that like really took me from like 7th to like 20th, and that's not, I hate. Yep.
The train is.
How about you?
The train is high EV, like it's very effective if you place it in the top, and only to a certain, and then it's like diminishing returns as it goes down because of the way the prize pools are structured. And then if you're nowhere near the top, like you're an idiot and you shouldn't have done that. But then when it gets you and it's 4th and it pushes you down to 27th when you're 1 point off, that's really frustrating. The clean sheet got me today. I was winning some absurd amount, like an amount of money that you wouldn't expect in the soccer prize pool given what I played. Like I think I played $53. I maxed out the $1.25 and played some satellites, and I was winning like $580 at the final whistle, and the Ramsdale clean sheet knocked me down to 180. So I'm not mad at 3x, but 11x was pretty cool. So yeah, it's the whole, like I'm playing my cash lineup because I don't expect there to be a ton of goals on the slate, and then there are not, and then that makes the keeper that I didn't play worth a goal, so it's one that I didn't have. So yeah, that's the thing with keepers, always important. Never.
Yeah, we'll look at it later, but like this Sunday's classic one was a lot of like you just had to make sure you got all the right goals, and it was tough, and also catch that clean sheet. It became apparent very, very quickly, especially like down the line when we'll get into it. Whatever, we'll get there.
We will indeed.
Hey, before we do any of that, hey, I'm gonna do it again, buddy. Like, subscribe, comment, get those numbers up. Let's get this going.
I'd love to see what what the ratio is to like how many likes we get on a video versus how long we go before we say it. I don't know if that's a ratio.
We'll hit the sweet spot, and then we'll just we'll blow up from that point. I don't know when that is. We got to go to YouTube Academy or something like that for that.
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not there. Okay, so Saturday slate. God, if you woke up early enough to play this Manchester derby, it was pretty obvious going in. Like, yeah, let's just stack City, and it worked out that way. Own goal, whatever. We're not going to cover it, but one last tangent. Leonardo Fernandez for my Tampa Bay Rowdies putting up a 10 on the Who Scored. Rowdies with a 6-2 win in the playoffs, going to the semifinals next week. I'll be there. If you're a fan of the Rowdies and Tilt City, you can meet me live in person at Al Lang Stadium next Saturday. Just find me and be like, Tilt City, and I will definitely buy you a beer. If you come up to me at a Rowdies game and say, oh my God, you're from Tilt City, I will 1000% buy you a beer. You and one other. How about that? You and your significant other, you and your friend. If you're with 4 people, pick your best friend. Okay.
That person gets a VIP card, as far as I'm concerned.
That's true. I'll print one. You give me your address. Yeah. You'll get a captain's badge. Okay. 3 games late yesterday. Question was, how much Chelsea is too much Chelsea? The answer to that generally is not much, and that was the case. My spoiler alert: my winning lineup in the quarter arcade, not a one, not a single Chelsea player.
Wow. All right, man. Wow.
So let's get into it. We all thought Brentford was going to beat up on Norwich, and that was not the case either. An early goal from Matthias Norman, Pookie with the penalty, and then Rico Henry from Gatos off the bench. Gatos was in my GPP holder, and then when he didn't start, screwed me up a little bit, but it ended up okay in the end. But Brentford falls. And in terms of I played a lot of Canos. He had a good game, but the Rico Henry goal, I was there, and then I didn't end up on him. Chelsea, Burnley, Kai Havertz. I don't know why I did that. Kai Havertz with the early goal from James, and then as all of us Mendy, I don't know, managers, we were just sitting there waiting, just be like, all right, clean sheet, and then of course the sub to sub goal from Burnley, Vidra from Jay Rodriguez, just as we all planned. And then finally Palace 2-0, Gallagher with one, Wilfred Zaha with the other one. This one was a battle of two teams that you don't generally want to roster a ton, and I keep rostering Wolves. I didn't yesterday, thank God.
Yeah. Did you get to a lot of did you get to any Palace at all? Did you get to pepper them in?
I did. Let's take a look. Okay, so here's cash. That was supposed to be a segue to my GPP lineup, which definitely does. It didn't work out, but here we are. So I beat Blender finally. I think I'm like 1-4 against him this year. So often this is when I like to talk about kind of the decision points, and a lot of times that has to do with what Blender and Ryan Belangi and the gang talk about on the RotoWire pod, because that's the only one that really exists in my world outside of Gators preview. So this is a nice way to explore that. So for me, I was playing 3 fullbacks again. I wanted Chilwell, James, Mendy, and then Canos or Ait Nori. The way it ended up working out was, Rashica was as good a forward value on the slate, but then you also had on the other side Havertz as a guy who was very likely to score a goal, at least relatively. So that was kind of a one-on-one decision, and Havertz actually was better, and that's fine. I don't really have anything, it was kind of a results-based thing, and I would have been fine either way. I think I had the room to get him, but because I was playing Pookie, and the reason I played Timu Pookie was given my options and given the rest of the build, like this was the last spot I was filling in this lineup. Barkley was in. I already knew what was going on generally here, whether or not it was going to be James or one of these other two. I knew Jensen was going to be in here just based on his price. So really it was like, what am I getting here to facilitate the rest of it? And it was like, just pay down to Pookie and pray he scores, and he did. And that's all that. And it won it for me, really. But on the other side, like Edward was not much more expensive and had a much better floor going in, and we knew that. So here's the difference. I played Barkley, which he had sub risk, and he did sub pretty early, but I had a feeling he was going to be on a lot of the sets and be involved. So I luckily didn't lose a ton going from Canos, from James, and then Barkley kind of facilitated the rest, and then I got that goal. So really just a results-based win for me. I understand everything that Blender did, which generally I do. There was no way you were getting me to punt all the way down at this other spot, just because I hated all the midfielders. So that's, while I understand and don't fault him, because he knows more than me anyway, but I just wasn't comfortable with it. So that kind of made the rest of the build happen. So there was Pookie. Go ahead, sir.
It was kind of hairy in that, like, because sometimes you can like find a couple like nice picks of like really cheap midfielder guys. It was a little tough today. I just kind of went to Conte most of the time.
I did that. I did that a lot.
Money
GPP,
down there.
Yeah.
You ended up okay.
I would have played Conte over McLean.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
But so I think, and the other decision point that I didn't really touch on is, I think dropping from James to both of these guys obviously facilitated me getting to Rashica, because I didn't want to play Pookie and Edward, but realistically, if I went Edward over Rashica and got 2,000, and then got up to if I played James over Chilwell, which doesn't really matter here, there's a big swing to be had there, but it's just the way the lineup worked out was, I was happy with it at the end of the day, so I let it ride, and it was all right. So okay, here's what I was forecasting. No Chelsea in my winning lineup, and I cleared by almost 2 points here in the quarter. This definitely did kind of spark from something that they talked about on the RotoWire pod Ryan and Jordan kind of got into it as much as they do over paying up for Rashica and Gallagher
Okay.
when kind of the drop off was really drastic from those guys to the other guys at that position, and it was kind of a matter of, well, do I play a more cashy lineup, or do I pay up to secure good guys at this otherwise sparse position? So when I heard that argument, my thought was like, all right, I bet not a lot of people are going to be on the build that has them both. So I just did that, and you can see it a couple of times in here. But really, I mean, this is the same as my other lineup, except I paid down to Pope and paid up to Zaha and paid up to Gallagher, and that combo made sense in terms of correlation, but really they didn't correlate. It was just they both scored. So
yeah, I could see the point with Rashica a little bit more. I mean, it's more contextual because you have Pookie in there, so you get sort of like the assist or goal from one of them going in there. Yeah, I don't know. Gallagher is it's because it helps that they were playing Wolves here, but like that's like if Palace is against Wolves, like yeah, you might want to like think about building around him a little bit. It's sort of like a Rafinha thing almost with them at this point, not quite.
So when Gallagher's on and Milivojevic is off,
yeah,
it makes him a better play. But I mean, really, I played Gallagher here because I thought his ownership would be suppressed, and he was the second highest owned guy on my team behind Zaha, which does not make sense to me. But
that is weird. Yeah, what is that? Wow, I'm really curious about that.
I didn't think the build would happen. That's really why I did this. So let's see what was beneath me.
Yeah, I'm gonna see that.
Same sort of thing, really, except they got the Norman goal and
actually no Rashica. Okay.
Yeah, I figured Rashica is definitely the guy in there. He was expensive and didn't score that much, so he would be the guy who probably won't appear otherwise. So let's see what you did. You finished third.
This is a whole lot of Chelsea here.
I mean, you got the guys that I didn't realize Hudson-Odoi finished that well.
Yeah, he did pretty good up there. Yeah, this is what having James like really helped out, and then Conte to find game and Barkley was. Ross Barkley, I totally forgot about him, but yeah, there he is. The ownership on him.
Yeah, I understand him having a bit suppressed ownership. One, because no one expected him to play, so they probably didn't figure him into the lineups. But two, like you kind of knew what his involvement was going to be to a degree. At least I thought I did. And I also understand fading him for upside.
Okay, yeah, right.
So I could see that, but at 11,
sure. Yeah, I mean, does everybody know but me that he's on sets? I feel like me not knowing that is probably reflective of some chunk of people for Chelsea. Maybe I could just be ignorant though. I don't know. I didn't know that.
The thing is everyone was on sets.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
But he kind of becomes a center point, and also like he was 6,800 playing up front for the biggest favorite. Like
that's true.
It's kind of just like playing.
That's a good point. Yeah, but, it's more. I mean, okay.
Blender didn't play him, so like I can't fault too many people. That's kind of my barometer because he's the one shark that I play consistently. So, but I mean, you were still able to facilitate getting to the rest of these guys. I wanted Brandon Williams last week at 2,500. That was a good shout. And then Cruel popped off.
Sure did.
Imagine if he had 12 more points from not allowing that goal.
Yeah. I always got to go for some like just the bottom. Who can I find the cheapest fullback? I don't care who it is. I don't care where it is.
I know
if I can get some correlation, I got to do it because then I find some money somewhere else. It's great. And I kind of spent up all over the place except for that was bargain Barkley. I love them. That's him now. Bargain Barkley.
That's hard to say. Okay. Here's that train that we love.
Yeah. I didn't get to look at this. Okay.
Okay.
With Moutinho.
I guess I get it.
Yeah.
You couldn't pay me to play Moutinho in GPP.
That's wild. Yeah, I can't believe I'm seeing him there.
But I mean, 49, I don't know. I don't want to say something dumb like fine the 1,000 for Jensen, but like, all right, so he caught a goal, caught another goal, caught a third goal, caught a fourth goal. He's just missing Zaha. So it's just like, all right, I got the goals. And then
Yeah, right.
Gaeta gets the clean sheet, not
clean
even a
sheet,
ton of
yeah.
floor at a chill well, and then this was a good floor play. But his other floor play didn't work. These guys are goal dependent. He got him. Congrats.
This is a hell of a train to put out there. That's crazy, man. Maybe it's when it's the quarter. It's like, yeah, I'll just drop $5 on the one, whatever.
I do that
Good.
sometimes when I don't want to build more than one, like in other contests. But I sit in front of my computer and actually work out lineups for EPL because I feel like I know it. Really quick, let's look at your other lineups. So this one you just worked Rashica in over Barkley.
Yeah,
But
yeah. This one's kind of weird. Yeah, because I thought for a second I couldn't remember if I actually did do Rashica without Pookie ever, and I guess I did. Yeah, I thought he would pull in a goal or something like that, possibly. But yeah, worked out.
And the Palace stack, pretty simple. You seem to leave money on the table a little bit better than I do. I feel like sometimes I'm dumb about it, and I got to spend this. With I've been playing for a year and a half or whatever now, and it's like I should know better. But
there's to a certain degree, it's like if it's like 50, if it's 1,500 or less, and it's like in a position where like it doesn't matter, it's like that's whatever. We'll work that out. That's fine.
Right.
If it's 2,000, I want to find something for it somewhere. Usually.
For sure. Yeah, more correlation from you. You got to Gallagher quite a bit. I'm surprised. I found it hard to get to him. But you were playing Williams, whereas I was paying up to Canos or Aiton or 100% of the time.
Exactly, yeah. And it was kind of killing me because I thought like I would miss out on Canos a little bit, but I ended up just kind of over a little bit on that Norwich side, and it worked out for me.
It's funny, and we kind of took two different approaches to the slate, whereas I was like, I'm going to play my cash lineup with a bunch of 2v2s. And while yours aren't drastically different, they're definitely geared more towards GPPs. Like you have a lot more punt down upside plays in like your pay up spots. But at the same time, I played Gallagher and Rashica for floor anyway. So maybe I'm wrong on that.
No. It certainly helps to have these 3-game slates over the weekend were beautiful, man. I was so peaceful about this one. It was just it was really easy to, because as long as you don't you can't really overdo, unless you're totally wrong, you don't really overdo like one side and totally forget about the 4 other teams that are playing elsewhere.
Right. You're right. Yeah, I have a hard time with that, especially identifying like, all right, would I rather pay up for a $4,600 midfielder from the third biggest favorite on a 5-game slate, or do I want to play like, I don't know, a 3,000? I don't know. I don't have a great analogy, but like sometimes finding in GPP, it's about catching those cheap goals. So like, I have a hard time identifying where I might think those come from in some places. So that's why I do the XG thing on Golazo. I think that's the main key to why I talk about that, is I'm like, all right, if I'm stuck and it's like, do I play Vitaly Janelt or I don't know, the equivalent, a goal reliant bad midfielder from Norwich? It's like, all right, well, the XG says these guys produce more shots, and like that's just kind of where I lean. But sometimes you just gotta go with the best player. So all right, I just wanted to look at, oh no, did I jump the gun? Go in reverse. All right, I just wanted to look at how Redcoat won the big one. Ooh, went to MacArthur.
Okay.
Geez, MacArthur. Oh yeah,
interesting. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's right. He was a good guy in the 3,000s. I thought there was a guy. I couldn't remember. And Brandon Williams, my man.
It's funny. Every time I look at one of like Redcoat or Ceramex winning lineups, it's like, yeah, I totally would have built that, but I don't ever build it. Like, this is a really simple lineup. Like, I played these two guys together all over the place. I played Havertz plenty and definitely paired them with the defenders plenty. And I try to do that all the time. I wouldn't have gotten to MacArthur, and having 2 punts like that is.
Yeah, that's right. That's pure correlation, baby. That's great. Yeah.
And like, this is where you correlate. Like, if you're going to have a $2,500 fullback, you don't need more than 5, because you're correlating with the keeper anyway, and in a GPP you're hoping for the upside and the clean sheet anyway. And Krul gave you that, and Williams was just, an accent to it. So it's like, I look at this, I'm like, why didn't I build this? And I just don't, because I don't know, the Sharps I swear he's got Biff's almanac. All right. You won a $5 King of the Pitch qualifier ticket, and you won it with this lineup.
Sure did. Yeah.
Did
And
we even,
for a
did I
second,
even look at that? I don't think we even looked at that one in the dollar. Like this was like your 8th best lineup.
yeah, right. Yeah, there was, we didn't even get down to it because I was
with Mendy.
with, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was worried about like keeping up ahead of everyone with that one, but that worked out. I was gonna say I couldn't remember looking at REDCOATs if I had any got Connor Gallagher here. I think I was playing it a little safer with James and Chilwell there, but I did remember, yeah, I did have James and Chilwell in a couple spots just because it was kind of easy to get down to making that work, especially going to Conte and whatnot. And then Rico Henry, I guess that was just taking the guy on the other side, the opposite side deal, and it worked out there pretty well.
You said exactly what I was gonna say, because
yeah,
when in doubt, like they always seem to grab a goal when you need it.
Yeah, and that it bears out in no tactical way whatsoever, but like Reece James is kind of like that too. And like I don't know, it's just like with Chelsea, one of them will go, one of them will not, and sort of work the swaps a little bit. But yeah, this was just Zaha happened to fit in here. I'm kind of surprised this is the single entry I had for this one, because Zaha there's pretty weird. But
I mean, you don't have to correlate goal oriented forwards. So,
no, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I mean, the correlation's like, oh, I get 6 more points, and that's guesswork too. So like I've had to learn that the hard way. I do that too often. So the correlation's more here. It's very much less so up there.
It always surprises me in these. Ever since I figured out, it's like just like a hint of cashy a little bit, and then you with like a light sprinkling of weird on top of that.
Yeah,
that really helped. That really helped getting it. Like I got keyed into that a little bit, and I think that's
all about the
why
contest
it's working
size.
out. Yeah, because this is not a ton of points. I like with Chilwell in there, I thought I would have whiffed, and then with Mendy there, I would expect this to whiff, but
when everyone else was
doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's a little easier to do. So,
yeah,
is the Zaha ownership here weird? I keep waffling. Like 7,500 wasn't that cheap,
right? I'd be really curious to see where people did slot him in. Looks like it.
They were barely favored, and like obviously he's going to be up top here, but
yeah, because I would have assumed that was like a utility thing that people were just like running out and like getting like, oh, this is like, do I want to get one of the Chelsea guys or come off of Chelsea and pick someone like who's like also in the 7,000 range?
Right.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
This idiot.
Maybe you just end up with him up top in that same idea. I don't know.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, I mean Tony was like similarly owned. Okay. Different contest. I mean, like 56 people. It's going to weight these a little different, but I got Rico Henry in this one too. Way to go.
Hey, all
played
right.
With Canos. He barely outscored Canos. That's funny.
He's the man.
All right. Today, what happened today? Today was a weird day for me. All right. Yes. Yes. All right. Yeah, this is what happened. All right. So this game was boring. It wasn't actually. It was a very entertaining game if you're like invested in it. But let's see.
I'm gonna take your word on that one because I only watched 20 minutes of this, and then I went to play Civilization. I couldn't take it anymore.
I'm about to do that when we're done. Yeah. So there was this late red card. There was this was a penalty, by the way. Hugo brought Richarlison down, and they called it on the field, and then went to VAR, and they're like, nope, and it was like, are you serious? But
wow, that's incredible.
I'm pretty sure Son disappointed. I'm pretty sure both the wing backs for Spurs disappointed. I played a lot of the 3 of them, and then not much else from this game.
Yeah, and then that's what led to like my just sort of boring classic one, was because I was like looking for we talked about like a little bit about Emerson, just texting a little bit, and then like got in my head, I was like, I'm gonna like try to fit him in as much as I can.
He was in most of my lineups, and I did really well today somehow, so we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, this is a mess though. I don't know.
I don't spend too much time talking about it.
They'll figure it out or not. I don't know.
Let's see. Oh yeah, so 1-0 win. The clean sheet we talked about with Ramsdale, that screwed me. I thought this was going to save me because I played pretty much all Ben Foster. He was the man of the match, and but Smith Rowe gets the winner, and then really not much else. I think Saka had a decent floor. Then Harvey Barnes and Rafinha were the first 2 goals on the slate, and they were both in my cash lineup, and I was very excited. And there's only one more goal. The Lookman goal was VAR'd off, but yeah, 3 goals on the slate. So cashy lineup's going to do well. Take a gander. I finished 4th. This is my Smith Rowe lineup. I don't know. I mean, I got all of it except I'm sure I could have paid down from Royale to get up to Ramsdale and been fine. Because otherwise I got goal. That's it. Just missed this goal. So what do we have? I'm going to say, I mean, I don't think Emerson's going to be in it, but I also would guess that Saka is not either. No, he is. Oh, he won without. He didn't even have Smith Rowe.
Wow.
This helps at 2,500. This helps at 3,800. He's not even a fullback. He just stands there.
Then I didn't get to. I didn't touch him at all because of that. And then Tielemans, he had a kind of okay day.
So here's what I did. This is my cash lineup.
Okay.
I made some swaps of Rafinha, I made some swaps of Saka, and I made some swaps of Tielemans. I don't know that I might have had Harvey Barnes in every lineup. I don't know. But some places I upgraded. So these 3 were the core guys, and you can tell by the ownership, like those are the 3. So all right, so no Tielemans, and I went to Tavares. So I went up to Saka and down to Tavares from, Reggie was 100 or whatever. Oh, and up to Smith Rowe, sorry. So it was up to Smith Rowe and whatever. You get the point. Tielemans gone. Here's Dallas. Should have had a goal there. Actually would have won me flipping slate. Granted, no one with Lookman was ahead of me, but that doesn't matter. But yeah, so like subtle upgrades, but you see generally the same core. Didn't fade anyone at all. This was it was just Tavares instead of Reggie. That was the only change from my first lineup to my 19. But okay, so up from Saka to Ava. Easy enough. Mora and Barnes fit here similarly. So
have you seen Son yet at all? Have you seen Son just like popped in anywhere? I'm gonna have to scroll down a little bit because I'm really curious about him. I think that is the I don't know. That really held me back a lot. I like overdid him a little bit. Oh yeah, what was he?
42% on 3 points.
That'll do it, man. That'll
nice
fucking do it. Yep. Because I got to enough Rafinha, but my thing was I was like switching out Rafinha and Son a lot to get to Saka or Smith Rowe or something like that. Right. I should have just the other thing to do would just be to just forget Son completely. So yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, it was just a matchup thing for me. Like if I was gonna do that, I was like, yeah, I'll just grab an Arsenal dude. I got to some Sonny, but like I was like, yeah, I get some floor or whatever. It's a decent drop off from Rafinha. I think that was my general switch. That's where I got to him the most. But yeah, I was grabbing floors here, man. Like, and I didn't know Tomiyasu and Ben Davies had one. But like I played the rest of these guys plenty. Any other weirdos? Gabriel had 8. Wait, what did Romero have? 6. Like that's fine on like 27.
Yeah.
I don't get why you would punt twice here and then play Ramsdale, but it was better than my lineup and got him to enough spaces. That not one that I would build.
Right.
Arsenal leads stack.
Yeah.
Rodrigo even had a floor. Why are all these like no floor guys had floors today? Apparently, shouldn't be tilting over something so silly. But yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know how much there is to say on this one. There were 3 goals in 3 games, and grab the goals.
And miss Son. You forget him.
Yeah.
Just do not have him.
Stay the guy who doesn't score a goal. Like Vardy was also in my worst lineup. But so yeah, I mean, all right, how about this? Let's explain the goal scorers. Rafinha, you were playing him anyway. Smith Rowe was probably a lesser owned, cheaper at least version
Yeah.
or attacker who scores on the biggest favorite. Easy enough.
In good form
In
too,
good
and they're
form.
playing Watford.
And then
Yeah,
the other one was what? Barnes, 5,500. These are
Barnes.
my
Yeah,
cash
just
lineup.
cheap, cheap
Yeah.
and upfront.
The
I
need
think I was,
sucks.
yeah, right. Yeah, they're pretty leaky. But I was looking back on Sofa. I didn't know, like, I was trying to see where Harvey Barnes had played on that like left. Is that where was he on the wing?
I think he's on the
Because
wing normally, yeah.
yeah, I was like, I didn't know how that was going to work out for him, and I kind of just slipped my mind completely to circle back to it. So
Right.
yeah, it didn't help me either, but
Right.
it helped you if you did.
Well, I wish I would have gotten to as much Ramsdale as I did Mendy.
Sure,
But
that was
Chelsea's a little better.
It's tough to go. Yeah, one day is it didn't hit for you, and the other day it hits against you there.
Yeah. Oh well, it is what it is. I mean, not much to say about this one, so that's fine. We talked a lot about the one that mattered, and that was the one that I took down, and you took down. We both took it down. So
Yeah,
today could have been a lot better. I was in first, second, third. I already said that, but oh boy, that's quite a fall.
it's nice to see. It's just nice to see the to press the button and something happens in terms of the process here. So I had a good weekend anyway. It was yeah, it's nice to see it work out.
You know what else? Yeah, I'm all about things just working out. My so rare weekend has actually gone very well too, so I should make some money over there. But I was in second place with one fight to go and first place without any fights in MMA. When I went to sleep, I was winning like $5,780 or something. I woke up this morning, I lost 100 on sleep.
Oh, brother. Oh no, man.
MMA is wild, especially because like once you get to the end of the card, they're 5-round fights, so they accrue more points. So like most of my lineups, I find myself fading the main card stuff a lot because it'll be owned and because of that 5-round, and it gets me more often than not. But
that sounds like kind of like a it sounds like a clean sheet, like top keeper of MMA a little bit.
It's similar.
Yeah.
It's similar. Like if it goes 5 rounds and they just bludgeon each other for the whole time and like land 125 punches each, you're like, oh well, the loser had 80 and they're in the winning lineup. So there was actually, this never happens. Last week, there were both sides of the same fight in the winning lineup, which like points wise shouldn't happen, but they just blistered each other the whole time. And
yeah, right.
So it worked out. And the prices are based on odds. So the closest fight is going to have like an 8,000 and an 8,200, and it makes lineups work. So, but yeah, that's my MMA talk.
I'm still not going to touch it. I'm too scared to do any other sport. NBA burned me.
I wouldn't play MMA unless you're gonna play 150 lineups because it's so variant. But I might be wrong on that. But anyway, this is an MMA show. This is a soccer show, and we're done. So you got places to be. I gotta eat. And yeah, I don't know. That's the show. Leave a comment, like it, subscribe, all that. We did good work this week.
I did, yeah. I feel good. International break, right? Is that what's up? What's up this week? I don't know what's going on.
Right as my whole game got screwed up because of international football in the summer. 2 weeks. I have 2 good weeks in a row. Finally get back to my process, and here's the international break just to ruin it again. You know what? Maybe I'll take a friggin' vacation next week. Maybe I'll do something with my lovely wife instead of sitting in front of the computer.
Yeah, you take an international break.
Take a break. Take an international break. All right.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna go see the Rowdies win their playoff game. Come find me. Free captain's badge. I'll get it on Etsy. I'll have it made, and I'll buy you and a guest a beer at the Rowdies game if you find me and just say Tilt City. That's it. Buy you a Big Storm IPA. How about that?
Shoot. I'll see you there, brother. I'm coming. I'll take off on the next flight.
I will gladly buy you and your lovely partner a beer, maybe more. Hell, you can stay at our lovely abode. You can stay at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with me.
I'd love to. I'm gonna occupy it. I'm sick of this crap.
All right, dude. Anything else?
No, I'm gonna eat before I gotta go. So let me go eat. I'm hungry.
Right. I'm gonna go eat too. All right, bye everyone. We're gonna eat.
Bye.